The third day of November of the year 2020. And so today we are
voting.
it's election day. Did you go vote, Dolia?
Yes.
Okay,
Me
good.
llevó mi sobrina y I drove the car in. They drove the car in.
Yes.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, good. So, and we are at 719 West Samano in Edinburgh, Texas, at the residence of Dolia González. Okay, so my name is Francisco Guajardo, and here today, Dolia, with you, I brought some of my staff members. So Pam Morales de Hendricks, she's kind of managing the video crew, and on the boom mic is Santiago Alanis, and then on camera is Tony Peña. Santiago is from Edinburgh, and Tony is from Starr County. And Starr County.
Okay.
De por allá de Rio Grande, por allá viene Tony. And Pam is from Far. And so we all work at the museum. And of course, you know, we always love it when you've been to the museum to visit us. And I think it's important to note, Dolia, that just this summer, you gave us the letters of your son that he wrote from Vietnam beginning in 1965 all the way to 1968. So how about if we start by having you introduce yourself? Tell me what your name was when you were born.
María Dolia González.
Madia?
Sí, porque the church pone María. So now I'm everything is María Dolia González.
What day were you born?
August the 18, 1929,
Where were you born?
in Edinburgh.
Where?
In the, pues no sé, porque a long time ago eran parteras. I know I was born at home. And I have crooked fingers. My grandma, when I was born, she didn't care about my mom having the baby. My mom was like me, 16 years old. The first thing she went to check was my little fingers. They were like, my daddy had them this way. My daddy died in 1945.
1945.
45.
But your mother, what was your mother's name?
Herminia Garcia González.
And she was 16 years old when she had you?
She got married at 14. My mom didn't see my grandma. She was 35. And we all worked I had to stay home with my dad. Pero ella fue con todos los más chapulines, and she surprised her mom. And me and my sister go sometimes running around. Why did she do this? Leave her alone. She didn't have a life. But ya cuando yo crecí más grande, I would take care of the kids. That's how come I quit school. Well, she threw me out of school. Y luego todos se salen de la escuela y yo quería acabar la escuela. No, los demás no querían go back to school.
And so when you did go to school, what school did you go to?
I went to Stephen F. Austin, which is still there. And I'm 91 years old, going on 92.
You went to Stephen F. Austin.
We had a very beautiful teacher, Mr. Montalvo. Ya murió, era de Ed Cauchelsa, de por allá. Y me acuerdo que juntábamos we had our nickels and pennies y los juntábamos. And then one day, like a day like this, we went up the canal. You know, there was a canal before we went to the cemetery. And then there was a beautiful tree, and we would sit on that tree. Entonces no había ham sandwich. We only had bologna and weenies, but we had lots of fun with him. Mm-hmm. But then he gave us la noticia. He was going into the military. That was when, I think it was Korea or Pearl Harbor, when they bombed Pearl Harbor.
Wow. So
Pero ya pasó tiempo, I was in for Edinburgh offices, the superintendent. We had divided school. We had juniors acá y los seniors acá. So we left early in the afternoon and we would come home. And I had a little friend. I used to wear little pigtails. Y all the way home, he would pull my hair. ¿Y sabes cómo se llama? Dan Rivas, todavía está vivo. We had a lot of fun at our time. Como dice Imelda, she doesn't want the little boy to go to school. She's going to keep him at home. I said, well, you do what you have to do. It's your child. Dice que no quiere que le pegue esa enfermedad tampoco.
Oh,
So,
the virus, yeah. So now, when you were growing up here in Edinburgh, did you grow up with your father also?
yeah.
¿Cómo se llamaba su
Mi
papá?
papá se llamaba Luis González.
¿Y de dónde era él?
Él nació ay, ¿cómo se llama el pueblito para acá? Somewhere around Victoria.
Oh,
They came back when they could cross the river, him and my grandma.
and so your father did what for a living?
He used to be a truck driver.
For some of these produce companies?
Produce companies. Entonces cargaban las trocas de fruta. And then one day we were going to school. Y el troque se arrancó. Y este niño he was going to cross the street porque iba para el molino para moler masa. And the truck, I know, I still remember, le tumbó toda la cabeza. So my grandfather, the que crió a my mom, he said, we're gonna go tonight. Porque lo arreglaron, ya ves que antes los arreglaban y ya estaban listos. So you can see him. No, Grandpa, no, I saw him this morning, I don't want to see him. Me llevó. But I still remember that accident. El truck no se pudo parar. Venía cargado de toronjas o naranjas, no sé. But it was something that had never happened to me in my life.
So, Dolia, when you said that you made a reference to when the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor, so at that time you were maybe about 12 years old.
Yeah,
Más o menos.
yeah.
Were you in school still?
Ya habíamos comenzado la escuela. I had started going to school. And me and this little girl used to play together. So by the time we got to school, we were both talking English and Spanish. So we didn't have no problems. So Ana Fe se llamaba. I don't know if she's alive.
¿Cómo se llamaba?
Yo le decía Ana Fe. Era gringuita y le gustaba mucho estar a comer en mi casa porque tortillas con frijoles and all that stuff. So we played together and we both learned to speak Spanish, English and Spanish.
Ana Faith.
Ana Fe.
Ana Faith.
Yeah.
Do you remember her last name?
No, fíjate que I don't.
Okay.
It's just I wonder whatever happened to her. I wonder if she's still alive. She's about my age. Or she's already died, I don't know.
But did she go to Stephen and Foston?
Yeah, we went to Stephen. That's why I'm so proud. Fíjate, 91 years tengo cuando yo comencé a ir a la escuela esa. De 5 años por ahí así.
So when was it that you left school? How old were you?
School, like in 1942, antes de que muriera mi papá. After my dad passed away and pues I had to start to take care of the kids. I had to go work. I work here and there, whatever. Why is it that today women don't want to work? I scrubbed floors. And then I started working like in restaurants and stuff like that. And I learned how to help my family.
What restaurants did you work in? You must have worked in a number of restaurants, ¿verdad?
I worked con Tommy, I don't know, you know Tommy Bryan, el de la esquina. Y yo no sabía meserear. So when he hired me hizo enojar la escuela. So I worked in school. And they told me only part-time. Y dije a la señora, no le dije nada. I went to the employment office. They sent me to Mr. Bryan. He had one arm. But he could wait on tables, but not tray. Entonces le dije, I don't know how to wait on tables. That's okay, I'll teach you. Me enseñó. Y el día, last year I went to eat dinner at the Echo. Y me dijo, Steve, you were here about 30 years, you were more than 30 years, you were like 30. In fact, dijo, you were my best waitress that I had.
At the Echo.
Sí, pero luego me costó las horas. Like he gave me 2 days in the week, 8 hours. Y luego me quitó el domingo. Because I was one of the girls that made a lot of money on trips. So, and dice my sister, why didn't you stay? Dije, can't, my tip is twice. Me los quitó y no me las pagó. Dije, y luego me rebajó las horas y me quitó el domingo. Dije, no, this is it. Y después cuando me fui a trabajar no, I could already work in the mourning area. Ya, ya había dejado de trabajar en eso. I just, me fui a trabajar a HEB.
Oh, okay.
I went to HEB. I was there like 13 years. So I did it about 3 years ago.
When the HEB was over here?
Está aquí.
Oh, on Klausner.
Sí. Porque yo iba mucho. I don't know if you remember, HEB was where the museum is right now.
Yes.
And that's where me and him do shopping. And the first thing he would put, it was food for his dog.
Now, when you say him, who's who?
Freddie.
Freddie.
Hi, Freddie.
Okay, well, let's back up a little bit. So, when Freddie was born, you were already out of school. You were, 16 or 17 years old?
Going on 16.
You were 16?
Yeah, and they told my mom, I was out complete. I didn't even know what was going on. Y dijeron a mi mamá que they told my mom, she would die or he would die. Or both of them. Y luego me dijo el doctor, you're going to go home, but you have to stay 2 weeks en la cama. Era en mayo, caliente, no había abanicos. O te quedas en el hospital. Dije, no, I'll go home. My mom took good care of me. I had my baby.
When did you have your baby?
I had it May 23rd, 1946.
May 23rd, 1946. Where was Freddie born?
At the Grandview Hospital, the old hospital. And I, in the morning when I woke up, I was fighting with my mother. There was a lady next door to me. She got after me. She said, Mija, she didn't go anywhere. She was right there with you when they told her that you would pass away. And then when they brought the baby out and they put him in the bassinet, the boy from the ambulancia le estaba poniendo el pelo. So I looked at the baby and I said, oh my God, that little bit, it was about this big. That little bit, I'm sorry, it hurt so much. I guess that's why we were so close together.
So Freddie was born May of 1946.
At 3 o'clock in the morning. I have the papers. I tengo el house.
Is that right? Well, you know what? We want to take a picture of that, of the birth certificate or whatever it may be.
Today?
Yeah, whenever. I mean, yeah, maybe later after we talk here. But so Freddie was born at Grandview Hospital.
By Dr. J.W. May.
Spell the name.
No, J.W. May. Dr. May.
And the last name is
Yeah.
M-A...
May is M-A-Y.
M-A-Y, okay.
And when he went to the house, because I was going to deliver it home, he told my mom, she can't have this baby. Me cargó, me echó al carro, me llevó hasta el hospital, me atendió, y I came home, and I stayed 2 weeks en la cama con un calorón, pero calorón. And then I saw everybody coming to see me, and they were crying. What's going on? But they thought he was going to die.
Dolia, do you talk about Freddie's father much?
Not much.
¿Quién era?
Se llamaba Andrés Cantú.
¿De dónde era él?
De aquí de Edinburgh. And then when he passed away, he has a sister that lives in California. So she called the family and les dijo, you need to go see her. He is our brother. No vinieron todos, pero uno de los tíos me regaló. He got after me. I said, look, I raised a boy by myself. He wasn't there. He was very busy somewhere else. So I did the best I could with my son. Que tú no lo trataste. No. Like I didn't bring him to see your parents because it was his job to take my little boy to meet his grandparents. And they passed away and he never met his grandparents.
Did Freddie have a relationship with Andrés?
Muy poquito. Nomás que me dijo, Freddie told me, he said, Mom, he's threatening me. He said he was going to take me with him.
When
he
did. When he was like 12 or 13 or what?
Sí, estaba chiquito. Eran bien andariegos estos huercos.
Pero ¿cómo que se lo llevó?
No, se lo quería llevar con
Pero
él.
no se lo llevó.
No.
Ah, ¿dónde vivía Andrés?
Viví en un rancho para allá, de las Chuñas más para allá.
Okay.
I went over there. Manuel, uno de los primos, me visita mucho. He comes and sees me once in a while. Ahorita no, everybody with this enfermedad.
Manuel Cantú.
Sí.
Manuel Cantú. How old is he?
He's about, I think, Freddie's age. He's going to be the commander of the post. But they're closed right now because
Right.
they can sell beer, they can do
Okay.
nothing like that.
Okay. Manuel Cantú. So he's not a guy who's about my age. Manuel
I
Cantú.
kind of think so. I don't know. Freddie was 74.
Okay, so he was about Freddie's age.
Yeah,
Manuel.
something like
okay. Because we have a board member named Manuel Cantú, but you're talking about another Manuel Cantú.
No, it's
So este Manuel Cantú venía siendo hermano de Andrés o qué?
no, sobrino.
Sobrino de Andrés. Okay. Where did you meet Andrés?
Well, you know, when you're young, they don't let you go anywhere. What's that?
It's an umbrella that holds shine light. Yeah. So
Este,
when you're young, they don't let you go anywhere. Like your
no nos
mother.
dejaba salir. So las onzas, ¡pum! You know, we were 16 years old. He was a good, pero the worst part was when he signed up for the Marines.
When who?
They asked him about,
Oh,
you
Freddie.
know that when you die, if you happen to die, half of the insurance goes to your mom and half goes to him. You go, Freddie, why? No, because he's the father. I said, no. Well, he never gave me a diaper, never bought me milk to drink. My mom did all of that. So they knocked him off.
So Freddie declared to the military that his name was not Cantú but González
That's why he changed his name to González. And I was like,
because of the insurance.
yeah.
That's great.
He said, he didn't help my mom, nada. Con ese dinero yo le ayudé mucho a mi familia. Y me dice mi hermana, you're crazy. Dije, no. My brother had a bunch of kids. He didn't send child support. So venía el niño más enseguida de una de mis sobrinas, que se acaba de ir. Ella viene y me mira 2 veces por semana. Pero se va a ir she's going back to Dallas to see her family, and then she's coming back. But I won't get to see her until January, because she has to be quarantined for 15 days when she comes back from Dallas.
So Dolia, when they named the VFW Alfredo Cantú González, you didn't make a big deal of it? Whatever, ¿verdad?
I didn't care.
You.
I didn't, los primeros 3, 4, 5 años, I didn't care. I was so hurt. And right now, I'm so hurt con Trump. Because I happen to be watching the news. Y dijo que our boys like going to Vietnam. Well, we're not there because they were lazy and stupid. I said, I'm sorry. I thought the world of Trump, but right there, it ended.
That's why you went to vote today.
That's right. That's right. Y me dio mucho coraje porque I reckon no está sufriendo como Vietnam boys. I have pictures of him in la carpa donde dormían. Y they took turns sleeping. One was sleeping, one would guard. So que no me diga Trump, just because his kids don't go to war, I'm sorry, but my boy, y luego lo que me mandaron por atrás de back pay,
Que le cobraron a usted.
y ahorita quieren que llene un papel otra vez para el cheque. Estos que están aquí en el VA no sirven para nada. Vicente González no sirve para nada, and I had to vote for Vicente because I voted Democrat. I should have voted for the girl, Republican girl. They think she's very good, so I don't know. I hope she wins. But I have Vicente no me ha hecho nada. Ahí anda con los de México, allá y para acá. Y el que va a saltar se me hace, va a ser, ¿cómo se llama? Que lo están acusando de mucho dinero que ha robado. Michael, I don't know what else. John Conley. ¿Cómo se?
Corning.
C-O-N-D-Y.
Corning. Is he the
Senator.
Yeah, the senator, John Corning.
No me pudo ayudar para nada, pues ¿por qué los queremos allí?
So, Dolia, tell me about when you were a young mother. What were you doing before you gave birth to Freddie? Were you working? And where did you work?
I wasn't working yet. I was taking care of My mom.
You were taking care of your
My
mom?
mom was very sick.
Mm.
Bueno, todavía no. Pero I wasn't working. Era que mi mamá. Pobrecita. I feel so bad. Vivía mala. She was always sick, always sick. But when I had my baby, she took good care of me. Ya cuando se enfermó, I would go spend the nights with my sister because she kept her. And I was there the day she died. My mother died in peace. My mother, I had gotten up to check her. Y ya no sé cómo, I put my hand in the espalda, and she was like wet. So I called my sister, I said, I don't know what's wrong with mom. Está bien mojada. Se levantó. Porque la cuidaba todo el día. And I left my car with her because mi carro fue que me robaron, me lo compró mi hermano y me lo robaron. Como quiera que sea, we went there and we cleaned her up. La acostamos, la polviamos. Bueno, no vino la gorra que la cambiaba y todo. And we did her hair and everything. Y la cambiamos y todo. Estábamos sentados tomando café en la cocina. Y se levantó mi hermana, she went up to check her. Y vino y me dijo, mom's gone. What? Yeah. She didn't make estómetro. Yo creo que ella estaba muy bien con Dios.
¿Qué edad tenía?
83.
83.
When I got to 83, I said, oh my God, my mom died when she was 83. And here I am going to 92.
How about that? Yeah. So take us back. You're 16 years old. You give birth to Freddie in May of 1946. How was your life changed at that point?
Trying to raise a little baby. And my mother had told me that she was not going to take care of him. And I told her, Mom, you don't have to worry. I've got somebody to take care of my baby. Tenía 2 señoras. Y mi hermana, pues, ella no buscaba las cosas, tenía a mí. So she had 2. So we would take him to my mother, his godmother, and she would take care of it. And then one day I went to pick up Freddie, and her daughter was going to have a birthday. And she told me, ay, comadre, I want to go to Petra's birthday party. Why don't you go? You know, you're going to take care of my kids. So I stayed with her kids. Los bañé todos los días y los acosté y limpié la cocina a mi comadre. And then I had another little lady, también me lo cuidaba. So I didn't have no problem with it. But I had to walk to leave them over there and then come back and walk to work.
Because you didn't have a car.
No. At that time, you were lucky you had a car. Ya se había muerto mi papá. But I didn't get to see my dad when he died. Because he went to live with his mother. He left us all alone. So, le dije, Dad, I'm not coming tomorrow because mother has to do something. I have to stay with the kids. Está bueno, I was working. So, cuando llegué el siguiente día, había muchos carros. Le dije, what's going on? Dijo mi hermana, Dad passed away. Oh my God. I got sick after my dad passed away.
How old was your father when he passed away?
45. My mom was 83.
Was your father sick?
He had asthma. Pero dicen que ese día que, the day he died, he had eaten his meals. Mi abuela, my grandma visited him. You know, he asked him for a glass of milk. He drank the milk and then he... Yeah.
So when Freddie was a little boy, what was he like? And what was the relationship you had with him?
Well, he usually took a nap in the afternoon. Decía, cuando I didn't work, decía, Ma, where's Freddie? Dije, go look outside. Andaba entre las matas buscando a mi marido, pescaba las víboras. And doing stuff outside. He used to like to work in el jardín. Tengo un piso con él con las... I have to look for that picture. Con asadón y guantes, se ponía guantes acá.
Where did you live at that time?
On Junior Street, 718, I think 718, or igual al mío, 719 West Junior.
West Junior, so
Yeah.
that would have been
Not straight up back up here, straight to the cross.
Right. Okay, so I kind of know the area. On this side of the street or that side of the street?
We live on that side of the street.
On the south side of Junior. That's where Freddie grew up?
Yeah.
Yeah. And who were your neighbors? Any of Freddie's
we
friends?
had when I went to cuando cumplí los 90 años, there was a corner, the puros, all these kids used to pick cotton with Mr. Justo Salas. And so we wanted to get together, a family with me. So they did this. We had a big dinner at my sobrina's house and everything. Everybody, nombre, and then this year, we had a party going around. And I know que my sister nunca le han hecho eso. Nos pusieron a las dos enfrente, sí. Pues la puso la hija because she's not very friendly with people. Nobody goes to see her. Como aquí que vienen, me visitan. Ya, nada.
And your sister, is she the mother of Artie, of Shorty?
Shorty, he's here now. Did you know that?
No.
He's living in Sheridan, I don't know where. Pero lo volvieron a operar. He had kidneys.
Like a stint.
When you have the bolita de la hiel.
Oh.
So right now he went back to the hospital. And I don't know how they convinced him, ya se lo trajeron para acá.
And so he would
Vivía
be...
en Corpus, he lived in Corpus.
Right, so he would be about Freddie's age?
Yes, se quedaron juntos.
Yeah.
Mirabas a uno, mirabas al otro.
¿Él vivía por ahí también, por la Junior o no?
Allí vivíamos con mamá todos, amontonados. Se vino en chubasco, no cabíamos en la casita de mamá.
Cuando... ¿Y Robert Vela dónde vivía?
Vivía antes de llegar a la Highway 107, en la esquina.
And Robert was a good friend of Freddie's.
Oh, yes.
They used to run around together.
Y Tommy Luna, que se acaba de morir. I went to see him. Le dije yo, I have to go see him. Y me llevó. ¿Quién me llevó?
Odie.
No, Mary. El Liborio y la esposa. Y le dije a Liborio, I don't want to stay too long. I want to come home. He looked so good. He looked like he was in peace. Lo vi de como que no estaba dormido. And when I went to see him, that's okay. I guess you're playing football with Freddie now. Porque lo que me dice Georgina
Flores.
Allá andan donde jugando pelota Coach Flores y porque el esposo de ella murió también. Pero supongo que se le murió un hijo también. I don't know. I never knew her address. So I can't go right now. La doctora no quiere que salga para... No así aquí. Mi sobrina me lleva, pero me deja sentada en el carro. Ella me compra lo que necesito.
So, when Freddie was growing up on Junior, his elementary school was which one?
First, she was at Sam Houston. Then they transferred him to Lamar, which closed. Ya de Lamar se fue para middle school or whatever. And he graduated from this school, lo que se llama... I wanted to name this school instead of the little one.
Right, you wanted this school, the
I
high
wanted
school,
this school
to be
instead
Freddie
of-
González High
Yeah,
School instead
yeah.
of the
And they named the
elementary.
little one.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Huh. So, okay, so when and you have a picture of him at Lamar. Or
yeah, I'm looking for. I'm going through all my stuff because I'm.
It's in the box that you gave
Okay.
us. So we have a picture of Freddie when he was a student at Lamar, maybe 4th grade or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how was Freddie growing up as a kid going to school?
Oh.
How was he as a student?
They were good. We didn't have no problem with them. Freddie was a patrolman. They had one bicycle. And ahí van los dos con la bicicleta.
¿Quién? ¿Él y quién?
Él y Arturo, Shorty.
Shorty.
Yeah,
Yes.
they went to school together all through.
And then they even went to Vietnam together.
The only one he saw in Vietnam was Pete Lopez. In fact, Pete Lopez was coming home. So they met. Dijo, go see my mom. Y dile que estoy bien. He got killed right after right after Pete left. Llegó el mismo día que llegó el cuerpo, lo trajo la mamá de él que me viniera a ver. Y dijo, ay, Mom, I don't want to go see her. No, sí vine y me vio. And
Pete Lopez vive?
sí, pero, I haven't seen him in years, desde que nos movimos de ahí de la casa.
Really? But Pete Lopez saw Freddie in Vietnam.
Yeah, he
Right
was
before
coming home.
He was coming home. Pete was. I want to say that in one of Freddie's letters that he mentions Pete. Huh. So just to provide a little bit more background on this, Dolia, Shorty is very important in Freddie's life. And Shorty, next to you and maybe your mother, Shorty is the person that Freddie mentions the most in his letters from Vietnam. Mom, how's Shorty? Mom, say hi to Shorty. Mom, do you know about Shorty? And even, before Shorty was sent off to Vietnam. And then when he went to Vietnam, he would ask you, have you heard about Shorty?
But he would communicate with Freddie. With those. Like, he wouldn't write his mother. But Freddie.
Who has those letters?
Well, I have some of them. I don't know if I gave them to you or not.
You gave letters, but I think maybe there's one or two that Freddie sent to Shorty. And then there's one or two that Freddie wrote to your mother. No, to your mother we have a lot. Like maybe 20 letters.
No, le escribí a mi mamá.
Bastante. Y luego tenemos yo creo 2 o 3 que le escribió a Delia. But we'll get to that in a second. Let's back up a little bit. Freddie and school. Okay? You said that he was a patrol boy?
En la mar.
And he would help kids cross the street? Yeah. So ya estaba entrenando.
Sí.
Y esto, Dolia, de Freddie going to Vietnam and that sort of thing, going into the Marine Corps, did you see something in Freddie as a little boy that you thought, he might go to the military?
He used to watch John Wayne movies, and John Wayne was never a Marine. So he started seeing those movies when he was about 8 years old. Y me dijo que he wanted to be a Marine. He said, no. Yeah, no. And the boys took him to the Army, Navy,
Air Force.
A mí no le gustó. Y Frank está muy malito ahorita, un amigo de él. Él fue que lo llevó. When he got to the Marines, that's it. Hasta Holland anduvieron con él.
Okay, so let's back up a little bit. Before Freddie volunteered, Freddie would become an athlete in school. ¿Verdad? He was a football player. Mm-hmm. When did he first pick up playing football? How old was he?
When they had the Pee Wee team.
Oh.
Yeah, when they had the Pee Wee team. Comenzó a jugar de los como... They started here in a little school y se fue, played football. Y, oh my God.
That's a UPS. So did you go see him play football in high school?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
One year, the last year, me dijo, Mom, I was kind of sick, no quería ir, pero te tienes que vestir. Entonces usaba tacones. Ahora no, I have to use flats. So, I want you to dress up to those. I was debating. I better go see my... In fact, we walked off the field with him. I did. Me pusieron una mama aquí grandota. Tommy, look at me, sir. Tommy se quedó con las fotos así de la mamá. She was always running late, señora. Tenía mucha familia, eran 10 de familia. We had a lot of fun with her. And then we got off when se acabó el game, and we walked with our boys all the field. It was something that you never see.
Yeah. And so how was he as a football player? Do you remember? Did you even know football? No? But you just went to support?
No, todavía was a Cowboys.
What number was he?
64.
He was number 64. Was he a lineman or what was he?
Fullback or something
Algo.
like that. Yeah. Déjame decirte. After he was a junior, pues they played the seniors. So when the juniors came in, they played the juniors y les pegaban. Así me pegaban a mí los juniors antes de ustedes. He was kind of rough, that guy.
And so, how was Freddie, like his own character and personality? Was he like a tough guy? Was he courageous? Was he
No, he
aventado?
wasn't that way. No, sí, cuando se enojaba, when he got mad, he got mad. But as a person, he was a nice person. He was going to be a family man. Se enfermaba mi tía o mamá y venía. Ándale, déjame cenar para ir a ver a abuela. We got to go see Tia Maria. She loved my tia. She's the one that lost her daughter here in Ontario, Brown Derby. They had gone to Mexico. And Ruben just passed away about a year ago. So, cuando anunciaron en TV, vi cosas en TV, que el carro se veía así y se mató. Y anunciaron el nombre. Oh my, he broke crying, lloró. So, estaba un primo de mi mamá. Dije, ¿me llevas a ver a mi tía? Dijo, sí. Lo llevé, estaba la casa llena de gente. Y él a grito abierto. Dijo, ¿qué tiene el niño? Dijo la señora. Dijo, tía Mary, es que my daughter and her granddaughter lo querían mucho. La granddaughter toda chiquita. Apenas comenzaba a andar. So she would stand at the street like right there. And Freddie would be playing. He said, fat. He says, yes. He didn't listen to her. And he kept on calling her. So, what do you want? Que la cruzara la calle. No cruzaba la calle sola. La cruzaba y descalza y se iba para allá con la mapa. Entonces, she would up in the house. And then she would come out y le volvía a hablar. What do you want? Que la cruzara la calle. She wouldn't cross the street by herself. He had to cross it. So, after I took her to see my aunt, I took him to see my prima. Y estaban las dos, ella, la niña que daban que tenían sus brazos de ella. Madre Santa, que suelta el grito otra vez. Y dije, papá, she's gonna be okay. She's gonna be okay. Y ahorita, hace un año que fui al funeral de Rubén, el esposo de ella, el hijo. Ella tuvo 3, y se le murió uno y la niña que se mató en el accidente. She lost 3.
Freddie quería mucho a su abuela, ¿verdad? Y a sus, porque the way he wrote about her and the way he wrote to her, he had a deep affection for her. There's one letter that he started in Spanish. Freddie was pretty bilingual, right?
Yeah. When we were at the funeral, that night that I got notified, le dije a mi hermana, look at there, the judges aquí enfrente de mi casa. Judge Bear, I don't think you knew him. Y Fidencio Vera. Y Fidencio was telling him, because me dijo Eliseo, he lives in Corpus, he was all ready for the strike y no se la dieron. Y ya iban a darle otras, y que le dijo Fidencio, oh, Judge Bear told him something, and I was listening. Y dijo Fidencio, well, a kid that age, in 2 years and a half that he's been in the Marines, he did pretty good. Because nobody made stripes like he did.
When Freddie told you he was going to go to the Marines, how did you take that?
I was working at the Dairy Queen at that time. So, todo el camino, yo creo, me tocó trabajar esa noche. Y cuando llegué al trabajo, pues llegué y lloré. Y ya los muchachos me abrazaron y me abrazaban y cuánto. Y yo, digo, pues vete por la casa. No. Dije, I'll cook while you go with the people. Because I don't want them to see me crying. So that's what I did. And every afternoon at 5:30 or 5, I got home at 5, de volada, nomás me quitaba, alzaba mis cosas y me metí en la cocina. Nomás llegaba y ¡pum! Y supper.
Yeah.
Watching the news.
Watching the news. This is once he left. to Vietnam. I mean, to first for
Yeah, he
training.
graduated before he went. And I remember when they called his name, I said, well, he's leaving me.
You mean during graduation, in high school graduation? Now, in his letters, he was writing letters from South Carolina, I think, by
He didn't like that camp.
Pendleton.
Yeah, he didn't like it. Yo te voy a decir, yo también fui y te está también feo.
Ah,
Porque le dijo Isabel, la Isabel iba bien enojada, my niece. She went with me porque me tocó el flight Southwest. Me mandó los tickets para que fuera. Y dijo, entonces dijo Isabel al muchacho que iba arriando, dijo, you mean to tell me her son got killed in Vietnam, dijo, by the Medal of Honor, and you people don't have a room for her to sleep? Era una negra. And I have a negative commander. I don't even know what his name is. I didn't meet him at the exchange of command. I met the other one. He was very nice.
But Dolia, when some of Freddie's first letters were in April and May of
Well,
19...
he left in July. So I started getting letters as soon as he got there.
But there were letters from, I want to say, from May, before the high school graduation. Did they graduate him early so that he could go off?
I don't remember that.
So
In fact, I didn't even know that parents could go to the graduation. I couldn't afford it. I would have to borrow money to fly to...
No, graduation in high school.
No, but when you graduate from the Marines,
Uh-huh.
you can go see your kids
Right.
and meet them. Well, I didn't know that. Si no, yo había hecho un impulso de verlo ir a ver, porque
Claro.
ahora que fui a Washington, we went to el campo donde estaba Freddie. Y ahí tengo un sobrino que está en el Navy. You're tired of me. Anyway, me escribía de ahí, de California. A veces había una carta que decía, oh, Mom, we marched in the water by the ocean, and the water was blue. And he never asked me to take a picture with him. So that night we were in my mother's house. And me dijo, come and take a picture with me. Well, somebody, I don't know who it is, took my pictures from my cabinet. Y mis de los otros me había dado uno grande que pusimos en el barco. I cannot find those pictures hasta la fecha.
Oh, of you and Freddie.
That was the only picture I ever took with him.
Wow.
Y como estaba chiquitito. But we never took pictures together. Ese día sí me dijo, Mom, take a picture with me.
So when Freddie goes off, then he does his basic training, and then they inform him that he's going to Vietnam.
Ya sabía.
Él ya sabía, and so he's writing letters to you. And so you're not necessarily checking the news so much at that point, because Freddie was in South Carolina or wherever, ¿verdad? Pero después lo mandan a Vietnam. Like December 1965.
And because he came home, got after
Basic training.
basic training. Y tuvo unos cuantos días. Casi no les dan. Y luego, what I learned también, going on my flight, when I went to get the Medal of Honor, vinieron y apiaron un soldado. Entonces yo le dije al general que iba conmigo, dijo, why would you put him? Dijo, because they only pay half. No pagan full. Solo sapean si viene un customer y le dan así el costo. Y why are they doing that? They're coming home from Vietnam or whatever. Ya había muerto mi hijo, I went to get the Medal of Honor. And before I left, I had gotten sick. So I went to see my doctor. Y le dije, my old doctor Guerra, which I love until the day he died. I said, I'm going to be out of town but you're coming back. Me dijo, oh, yeah. Dijo, te puedo dar medicina, te voy a poner una inyección, you come before you leave. Y fui, me puso la shot, and he gave me medicine que tomara. And I left, and he had me back. Y fui, vine, y nomás llegué, y me levanté bien temprano, y estaba en la oficina del doctor Guerra. Entonces eran los únicos doctores que había, así, pues me pasaban para adelante. Sí, no, hombre, así con tan nervio y agarraba. Y luego se puso las manos así, this big. I said, oh my God, I wonder what he's going to tell me. So he talks to me and says, you know, I almost lost you too. Y lo malo que me puse.
Wow.
I started hurting my legs. Entonces le dije, trabajamos con Tammy. Y le dije a la otra muchacha, oye, voy a ver al doctor, me siento mal. Ándale, anda, acá todavía Tammy, se iba a dormir. Ya me fui. No, hombre, luego le grito, pum, pum, no, hombre. Pero no me dijo nada hasta que no vine para atrás de la verla. I thought I was going to lose you too.
So, Dolia, when Freddie was writing to you in 1965, and then they ship him off to Vietnam, and then he's writing.
Oh, yeah.
He writes a lot. What was it about him? Because there's even letters where he kind of he gets mad at you because you're not writing to him as much. Do you remember those moments?
Yes, I was. I even got letters back that he didn't get to read.
That you wrote to him. Do you have those?
Yeah, I'll look for them and I'll give them to you.
But he's writing a lot.
Oh, le escribía, mira, a mi mamá, a mis dos hermanas.
Uh-huh.
Y le escribía, but there was a thing that happened with him and Delia.
Well, first, with Margaret.
Well, that was the cause for him to go back to Vietnam.
What?
Yeah, she broke up with him when he came home. Y luego otro día me vio y me dijo, I'm sorry que I was only 18, he was only 19. Pero me pescó de repente que si yo hablo con él y le digo, no hombre, yo era explotar, pero andábamos en Walmart. She stopped me. And then she told me that she was having problems con la vida, con su esposo. That's not my problem. That's his job. You think him? Then he turns around and starts going back with Delia.
And Delia he had known from high school.
Oh, yes.
Pero Margaret también, ¿no? She went to high school.
Sí, la llevó al prom el último año que ya había quebrado con, ya se viene, porque dice Ramiro Cázares, que él lo llevó para el rancho. Dice, le mandó muchas cosas, Dolia, pero ya las venía tirando, todas las tiró. And then, when he went back to Vietnam, he wrote me a letter y me decía que he didn't know what was going to happen between him and Delia. But before that, he asked me que le cambiaron los bonds, $18 bonds. So I went to the post office. They took me, you can cash them. And he said, why? Well, because he's dead. You can get him until after he's dead. Why would I want that money after he was dead? So what I did, I put a couple of sobres que los mandé. And he was coming home. Y luego le conté todos los demás. Y ahora he left time porque iba para Vietnam otra vez. Y Delia and him were going to go out that Sunday.
So, okay, so hang on. So it wasn't that Freddie went back to Vietnam because, you know, he wanted to go back to fight or protect his friends or whatever. It was because his girlfriend broke up with him.
Yeah, because he was upset because he broke up with, cuando se fue, le mandó la carta, Dear John letter. And I have a friend that worked for HEB. And we've gotten very close, pero ahorita, I guess they made him retire también, porque a mí me estaban empujando que me saliera. Y el patrón que tenía yo, él no quería que me saliera. Y I tried working, and I was only begging. But if I started to go across to get my food, hasta que me pescó una amiga mía, my friend, she would come in and me cruzaba. So I decided that it was not good for me to stay working, even though I missed a little paycheck I got. So here I can't handle it. I digo, yeah, but you have, estas viejitas, dijo, these little old people love you to death. Y Ronnie, my niece, told me one day, what am I going to do with you? What do you mean? When you die, las viejitas. Dije, vamos a ver el cajón para que me miren. That's it. I'm not going to have a closed casket. Si ellos me quieren ir a ver, van y me miran.
So there's some letters where Freddie said that he wanted you to send him some records.
We did.
You did. You sent him the
We did. Me había perdido una que le compré de este, what's his name?
Bueno, uno de ellos era Noe Pro.
He loved that one. Pero este era un muchacho americano.
Oh.
And he used to sing. In fact, the other night I was watching. Me duermo bien noche porque miro la novena a las 12. Digo, pues como mañana I don't have to get up early. So.
What novela do you see at 12 at midnight?
It's about, I don't know what program it is, pero tocan las puras rock and roll movies de canciones. Esta se llamaba Put Your Hand on My Shoulder. Pero no me puedo acordar cómo se cuánto guy name is. I can't think of his name.
Put your head on my shoulder. Look it up. Put your head on my shoulder. Who said? Put your
¿Cómo se
head
llamaba
on...
ese muchachito?
Era Bobby... Oh,
Bobby Benton.
Sí.
Bobby Benton, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Le compré esa y luego se la robaron.
Yeah, he said that.
De la escuela. Y compré otra para mandarle.
Sí, sí.
Y de ella le mandaba también los records.
There was a letter where he said that he had met some other Mexicanos from Texas.
Dos.
That he really liked them.
Sam, he got killed right after Freddie. Eliseo, he's still alive.
Eliseo is alive.
He lives in Corpus.
Wow.
But my boys from the team, the Vietnam, are mad at him because he doesn't show up at the meetings. In fact, I called Bill Purcell, one of my boys. I have to sit down and write them. I haven't written them desde que me enfermé porque me quedó la manita como no podía tejer engancho. Ya comencé a tejer engancho otra vez.
Ah, qué bien.
So, and I talked to him. Dijo, anything you need, let us know. Okay. Entonces le pregunté, what about the meeting? Are we going to... Dijo, Dolia, I don't know. I'm debating. Dijo, well, I'm debating today because my doctor doesn't want me to be in a big crowd. Pero la movieron para October. It was going to be in May of next year. So I haven't talked to Bill. I'm going to call him. I need to call my other boss está en el hospital. Se cayó. Y luego le metieron un tubo aquí. No sé qué le hicieron la operación. So I haven't talked to him.
And so how do you know these things? They call you or what?
Yeah.
So
But it makes me mad. Y le puedo decir a los muchachos, why do you always call Missouri? She doesn't give me the reports like she should. Call me también para saber yo.
he from 1965 he begins to write that he's gonna send you money, and then later, like in 67 and 68, he's sending you a lot more. Like it seems that at first he was just sending you, a little bit, like maybe, well, I don't know, $50. He says, I'm gonna send you $50, but then later he's sending you a lot more money. So talk about that.
Yo le decía que no me mandaran nada, que yo I was supporting myself, I was working, y él terco a mandarme. Pero ahora que, even for a second tour, but like they made it volunteer. So when I saw his check que me mandaron, 1,500, no les pagaban nada. He should have gotten double than that.
But it seems that he was all about looking after you.
Yeah.
He had such love for you, Dolia.
Por eso estoy como estoy.
¿Cómo?
Pues yo nunca pensaba enfermarme tan uno por 91 forever. And here I got sick at my 90th birthday. Pero a mí vienen a verme y no me hicieron ese parade. Una de ellas, donde Freddie pescaba algodón con ellos, dijo, vinimos a llevarlas a la pizca. Ya nadie pisca. None of these kids know how to work in the fields.
There's a letter that you gave to us of when Freddie was about 12 or 13 years old, that he was working out in the cotton fields, por allá fuera de Corpus.
¿Sí?
He was writing letters to you when he was that age.
Yeah.
What was it about Freddie in writing letters? Where did he get that from?
He only got it when he went to Vietnam. That's when he started writing a mí, a mis hermanas, a mi mamá. Y le escribía a Lela, una vecina mía que ya falleció. Ella lo quería mucho. Every Sunday, he would call. He would call between 12 and 1. And I had to go to her house to answer the phone. Y decían los niños que tenía, she had about 6 or 8 kids. So, don't touch the phone, because Freddie's gonna call. Pero un día habló y les daban, estaba todavía en bootcamp, les daban nomás 5 minutos por cada, so they could talk. So my mom got the phone. When I saw my mother like this, okay. She was talking to him. Finally, he said, Mom, Grandma, where's my mom? She's right here. Well, let me talk to her. So yo hablé con él. Después ya sabía yo. Vino, my sister came by after me and dijo, when is Freddie coming home? The first tour of Vietnam. And he was, I don't even know it. Y en eso, they called, Grandma, you have a phone call. So I ran. Me fui, corrí. Era mi hijo. Y le dijo la operator, is this the party you want, Freddie? That's my mom. Le dijo la operadora, como que se conocían. It was so funny. So I talked to him. Mom, I'm on my way home. Hombre, calte la boca. Mi mamá andaba con faroles porque quería hacerle de cenar a mi hijo. So we had a turkey dinner for him.
There are a few letters where he says that he had goals. He wanted to do things. Yeah, he wanted to be an officer. He wanted to get more training, more education. What were the kinds of dreams that Freddie shared with you that he wanted to realize?
Mama, I want to get married. I don't want to be like my dad. I want to be a good husband to my wife and help my family. But you're going to go live with me. And he said, wait a minute. Because I tell her sisters, if she would have been my daughter-in-law, I would have stopped working and take care of her. Well, she's a teacher. Bueno, era maestra, ya no es maestra. And take care of the house, hacer de cenar para cuando vengan del trabajo. Y luego que me hagan a little apartment on the side of the house. Because they have to have their privacy también, ellos. I mean, I couldn't interfere with. Ella es bien sencilla. She's a very nice girl.
¿Quién?
Dolia.
Oh.
Y después me mandó una carta y me decía, Mom, me and Dolia we're waiting to get married. Y está bueno. But the day he passed away, she wrote me a letter. Maybe you have it, I don't know, and I'll find it. She said, I waited for you to write me and you didn't write, fíjate. And I knew something was wrong desde el domingo. I was in church. And I started choking. So I got up and went outside. Then I came back, okay. So I came back. And my neighbor told me, why did you do that? I don't know. Well, she kind of had the same thing that I felt, that there was something wrong. Well, after I got her letter, a couple of days later I went to work. Mi hermano, he would take me to work in the mornings. Y, ¿de qué estás vestida? Oh yeah, I got up and dressed. I have coffee y había unos cinnamon rolls. So me senté, me comí my cinnamon roll. Ya nos vinimos a trabajar. Hoy me dejó. Pero a los cuantos minutos, I ate dinner. In a couple of minutes, I saw the police car stop. Oh, he vino a tomar café. But when I saw the Marine, I said, no. There's something wrong. Me sacaron en brazos. Porque me dijo que estaba muerto.
This was at the restaurant. What was the name of the restaurant?
Pues no me acuerdo, pues, Tommy Bryan. ¿Cómo se llamaba el restaurantito ese? Trabajé bastante allí.
Because that letter that you're talking about, the date on it is February the 9th. Delia wrote you a letter on February the 9th. And in that letter, she said, Miss González, I went by the restaurant to see you, but you were busy, but you may have seen me. Did you see her?
Yeah.
You saw her, but she didn't go in.
No.
And then she said, I wrote to Freddie, but I haven't heard from him.
Yo tampoco.
But he had just gotten killed on the 4th.
¿No
And
estaba
so-
muerto?
Ya estaba
You didn't
muerto.
know.
You didn't know.
And I have the article que escribió Captain Walsh. I want to look for it.
So there's a letter that Freddie wrote to you that was not in what you gave us. It was a letter that said, Mom, don't you worry. When I get back home, I'm going to build you a house on Sugar Road. We don't have that letter.
Let me see if I can find it.
If you have that, because, then they build a school on Sugar Road.
Está como-
But the school district had not seen that letter.
No.
They didn't know, but they built a school on Sugar Road, much like what Freddie said he was going to do for you, build you a house. So your house became the school. But the school district didn't know that. That's the letter I'm looking for, Dolia.
Okay. I'll look for it.
Maybe, do you have other letters?
I think so. I don't know where they are. I have to. Ahora que me
Okay.
me compusieron la casa,
Uh-huh.
I can't find out the stuff that I had.
Okay,
So I'll find it if I have it. I think I do have it.
okay.
So, like I said, if I find it, I'll call you. Or te lo dejo al museum.
Yeah. Or if you want, I can come in with somebody and we can help you go through your stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. Okay, so when they take you out of the restaurant in their arms because you were just too distraught.
I was like, when I got home, pero para cuando llegué, ya no lo ponían en el air, but when they told me, everybody knew. Y mi comadre llegó y le dije yo llorando, he won't be calling anymore. Dolia, yes, he's dead. Those kids used to love my Freddie, as much as Leila. And used to love me because I used to babysit for them. Y un día tuvimos un round, me and her mother, because the girls, Isabel, my niece was going to go to the movie, estaban todas chiquitas. So, ellas también querían ir, entonces yo les di dinero. Entonces me dijo, her mother told me, ¿quién las dejó? Y le dije yo, porque yo soy la que las estoy cuidando. A ellas, yo, I'm responsible. Y era bien mala la señora. Tenía un nieto que estaba criando, lo golpeaba con palos. Yo me quedaba, how can a grandma do that to her grandkids?
So, Dolia, after Freddie was killed in Vietnam, then they brought his body back. Then you go through a very difficult period for a number of years, right? It's not just like, months or a few years. You were basically in mourning for a long time. ¿Verdad?
Y fíjate, let me tell you something else. The generals, ya uno de ellos ya murió, pero él dormía en la carpa de los generals.
Freddie?
Lo querían tanto Y uno de los letters que tengo de un muchacho que me escribió, el que me dijo que I did so good at the CO, y cuando le hicieron la comida al CO, y cuando me paré al barco para decir, you know, it's very hard for me. Antes, I can talk. Before, it was just, y les digo, that's why I wear my skirts long. Because my legs are shaking when I'm sitting up on the podium. So,
Yeah.
it's been a hard life after I lost my boy. Puedo ir a una fiesta y todo, pero it's not the same. I'm not happy. And ahora que estoy en la casa, I love it.
You were, what, like 37 or so?
Yes, 37, fíjate. He left when he was 35. He got killed when I was 37. No, hombre, venían a verme. The people would come and see me, and they would look me from head to toe and say, what's wrong? I'm just me.
They thought you were just a girl.
Yeah.
It's-
He had 3 escorts for his funeral. El que vino with the body, then one of my cousin, y un muchacho que se fueron juntos los 3. Y me dijo el papá de Víctor Espinosa, he got killed before Freddie. He got killed in January, Freddie got killed in February.
¿Quién es la familia de Víctor Espinosa? Because he wrote about Víctor.
Yeah,
In fact, I think one of the last letters that he wrote that you have,
yeah,
like January 26th,
yeah.
is when he writes that Victor got killed. In fact, can you, Tony, can you give me one of those, please? The Freddie letters. The Freddie letters. No, the stack. The stack. Yeah, bring me both stacks. The bottom one. So this is what I have the letter here, Dolia. You're gonna take this so you can give to your friends, whoever visits you. January 26, 1968. Hi, Mom. No, this is the one where he says that a short letter lets you know that I am just fine. I'm going on R&R the 29th of February to Hong Kong. Me and Sam Rain are going together.
No puedo.
No, pues a Sam también lo mataron. But this is
His funeral también. Llovió ese día, Madre Santísima.
So this is the other letter where he says, how's good old Edinburgh? This is dated March 30th. The January 24th, 1968. He expressed shock that Victor Espinosa was killed, and he says, Mother, I hope all the people back home remember Victor because he didn't give his life for nothing. That's how I want you to think. Freddie wrote so much, Dolia. He wrote so much. He left like his life in his letters. Did you, in the last 50 years, go through his letters a lot?
Used to read them. I was at 3 o'clock in the morning, I was still reading his letters. Oh, that was our destiny.
Was there one letter, Dolia, that you read more than others? Was there a favorite one that you had?
I mean, todos were favorite. Like my love for him and his love for his mom.
We did a workshop with teachers, about 30 teachers from Edinburgh and Brownsville, on the Freddie letters. And so I read about 20 letters to the teachers. And they saw them because we scanned them, copied them, and they were looking at the letters. And the teachers were so emotional by the letters. And one teacher said that Freddie was such a good boy and he loved his mother so much. And then she said, we should use these letters to help our children in schools know how to be good children to their parents. Because that teacher was saying that Freddie was a good model for that.
And you know what? Mi hermana me dijo un día, Miss Tijerina. Oh, dijo my sister, she said, she's a very good teacher here. Don't tell me that. I heard it by myself. I heard what she said. Pero no lo pongas en alero ni nada, porque lo que te voy a decir, she always said, son unos burros. No. You have to see those kids. Some of those kids, their parents don't take care of them. Es como we had a talk the other night con el niño, because I metía basura. Y yo, no me hagas basura, mijito, because I can't bend down. And I told him, I said, y su mamá le dijo, si tú sigues haciendo eso, dijo, I'm going to not bring you to see Nani anymore, and I'm going to take your phone away from you. And I'm going to put a little basket, so you can put the trash in that little bag. But Nani, I'm not doing that to you. He's rough. Y me quiere abrazar, pues tengo miedo a caerme. That's the only thing I'm scared of. Porque mi hermana se volvió a caer, y yo no me quiero caer. So I'm doing good.
Yeah, you look good. You look good.
And the only thing that I can tell you is, he saved my life. Es un muchacho que vive en la casa
Oh, sí?
azul. And he once I perdió mucho peso. He's lost a lot of weight. Y la muchacha, pero la muchacha no ha venido. Ver y la muchacha corren los dos. Digo, qué ánimo. I didn't run. I used to walk. I used to go to the park. Pero I cannot go now. Voy me caigo, ¿quién me levanta? So toda Alicia, because I'm a walker now. So I'm going to start walking las tardes aquí. 2-3 vueltas que dé a las piernas. But I'm fine. I'm good.
Dolia, tell me the story of you and Freddie's letters. Like, because I think that you told me once of how you had wanted to give the letters to the museum, but it was very emotional for you. So tell that story about through the years and how you looked after the
I
letters.
hadn't thought about giving things to the Medal of Honor and those al museum. Pero Mr. McCallan, he lives in San Manuel. Y me dijo así, Dolia, why don't you put them in the museum? So it took a lot of courage for me to pack. Y vino una señora que ya no está allí, pero esta muchacha me ha tratado muy bien, esta muchacha. I called her the other day. Dijo que she was okay, que el esposo estaba que sabe que, but she was doing okay. I need to call her once in a while. Pero she's been so good to me. And when you came out, that you had gotten the position, I was so happy. Tú no sabes. I was so happy to hear you got this job. And I'm happy.
Well, I remember, Dolia, 27 years ago, when you and Robert Vela went to my classroom when I was a teacher. Do you remember that? You remember? What do you remember?
I couldn't speak.
Yes.
Y me miraban los muchachitos, they looked at me like, you don't talk, ma'am. ¿Y ahora qué?
But this is because I think, Dolia, that the years have been good to you. You have lived long enough to be able to, I think, come to terms with Freddie, with Freddie's legacy. And, even though it's still very emotional for you, now you talk about it. And look at what you're doing now, Dolia. Look at what you're doing now. Now you are sharing Freddie with the world. Like with these letters, Dolia, this is going to be, I'm telling you, teachers already are reading the letters, and it is such a gift to them. So you have given us a gift. Not only the gift of Freddie, but the gift of Freddie's letters. And the gift of you. So, Dolia, you've been such a good person to this community, and I want to congratulate you for that.
Me dicen toda la gente, you're so different from your sister. I'm friendly, pero ella se arranca. Yo no, si el general quiere venir a saludar, que venga a saludarme. Él a mí, no yo. In fact, that's why I don't wear the pin. You know, there's a little pin que debo de usar aquí. Entonces yo le digo, I didn't earn that medal. He did. If he would have been here, he would have been wearing that thing in his palace. Yo fui a un banquete a Huestaco. Y I sat in the middle, and eran 3 manos de este lado y 3 o 4, eran como 7, yo sentada en medio. Digo, I have been honored so much. But when Trump said that about my boy, like going to Vietnam to be lazy, he made more money here at home than he would have made over there.
Dolia, when they named the street Freddie González,
Oh, it was a hassle.
¿por qué?
Los bolivianos no querían que le cambiara el nombre. It was the old country club road. No estaba ni paved todavía. So, I was watching TV, y entonces le digo, Shorty, come here. Y este señor Manuel, ¿qué se apellidaba? No era de aquí, era de Alice. He fought him. He says, I'm not even from here. And what I hear about him, he was a commissioner. He deserves this street too. Finally, they changed it. Pero yo dije, they don't have to name the street after him. So he's got a street name here and a street in Camp Lejeune. Ese campo no le gustó. He didn't like that camp.
But there's a street named after him in Camp Lejeune.
He wanted to be, pidió él que lo pusieran en Corpus y no se la dieron. Why? Porque era mexicano. But we'll see what happens today. I hope everything turns out the way.
What about that big ship, the naval destroyer? That's huge, Dolia. How did that happen?
One of these days I'm going to invite you to go with me to the ship.
One of these days.
Yo no me puedo subir al barco because los steps are bien chiquitos and I have to go backwards and I don't feel comfortable. The girls went with me last year. Y dije, yo me quedo aquí arriba y ustedes van. Allá anduvieron, se trataron arriba del barco y no, hombre, anduvieron allá. Y luego también chiquitos los steps, papearme, no.
Where is it?
It hasn't even gone out, I don't think. Está en
Virginia?
Allí en ¿cómo se llama? It's right there in not Maine.
Oh.
Ahí se parquean todos los barcos.
Oh, okay. Maybe
Pero
like
I
Rhode
can't
Island
think
or
of the
somewhere.
name of the. Ay, no me puedo acordar
Okay,
el nombre
that's
del-
okay.
So, one time, Brian and Kelly, they're in Japan. We were supposed to have dinner at my house, and I told Brian, I'm going to cook for you guys. Pues apparently, mi estufa está al este lado y bateo mucho para cruzar para el otro lado para bater lo que tengo que hacer. Y pues Mom dijo, we'll all get together and we'll cook. Pero me dicen que no van a venir, que no nos dejan salir del campo ni a ver a las hijas. So they're going to have a new grandson, mi abuelita. So, me dicen abuelita. So I'm going to start making, right after Christmas, some stuff for her.
Oh, good.
Pero me dijeron que no van a venir. And that's okay because I can't go out either. But then I told them, I said, well, I'll just cater the foods para que vengan a comer porque les gusta mucho la comida mexicana. Y dice Ronnie, every time we go, they buy Mexican food. Because they like the Mexican food.
So Dolia, we're about to wrap up here, but I wanna ask any of my colleagues here if there's a question that you guys have that when we produce the documentary on Freddie González and Dolia, what are the questions that we will want to ask her that I have not asked? So you guys think about that, okay? I'm gonna ask Dolia to tell a story that maybe we haven't talked about that she really wants to talk about, and if you all have a question, by all means. So Dolia, what is the one story that you haven't told that you think we need to know about?
When I found out how he died. Porque Captain Walsh will not ver me. In fact, they didn't do nothing in this when that captain came. We went to FAR. Ya cenamos con el mayor de... They have a good mayor in FAR. El doctor, he's doing very good. So, allá cenamos. But when he left, I want to look for that article. I don't have it. I was going, me había hablado a la principal. I have a nice principal. I haven't talked to them. I haven't seen them because I'm scared to go to the school. Me habló y me dijo, Dolia, voy en camino para Houston. My dad's very sick. So I said, that's okay, I'll be there in the morning. Well, in the morning I got dressed and estaba tomando una taza de café con un pedazo de toast. And I saw his picture. So the first thing I did, I read the whole article.
This is Mr. Davila. Mr. Davila, who died, el papá de la principal.
No, ella es la principal.
De Freddie González.
Very good teacher, very
Yes.
good principal. Bueno, y lo primero que, cuando llegué al piso me puse a leerlo. Y luego que voy viendo donde me estaba diciendo, this was written by a professor from college. So donde me estaba diciendo que when he got to pick up the body, he said, all I saw up until day, dijo, I can't forget the way I found him. Lo levantaron from his belt. His leg was one way and the other one was over there. So, he said, we just picked him up from the belt, pasamos a la camilla, y they put him in the school. Then from school, they put him to the church. He went to church before that. Y ahí puedes ir a verlo. Tienen un corralito donde cayó él muerto, pero tienes que pedir permiso para entrar a verlo. Me dijo un señor que estaba allí, dijo, yo le llevaba un ramito de flores, digo, me dejaron entrar, digo, como 5 minutes nomás. Y yo le echan llave en una cerquita. Me lo enseñó él. That was the worst thing in my life.
It's a very sad story.
Y él dice que todavía hay días que él lost it. He said, I couldn't believe what I saw.
Do you guys have a question? Go ahead.
Dolia, you've gotten to meet several presidents, vice presidents, congressmen from Pico de la Garza all the way down. How many do you know presidents and vice presidents have you met?
Well, Presidente nada más a Trump.
You met Trump?
Yeah, he treated me like a queen. When we went to John
Corning.
Corny, este era un muchacho que estaba con Freddie. And then yo estaba sentada así, ¿no? Y enfrente de mí estaba la congresswoman de él. Pues que le van a dar la medalla de Habana y quién sabe qué, quién sabe cuánto, bueno. Y fuimos. And before vino Trump enfrente y se hincó, me dio un beso. No, and I told my nephew, el niño, did you see the president? Yes, and he gave me a kiss. ¡Nani! Y no le gustó que le besó el cachete. And I said, yeah, me trató como una reina. But when he said about the boys, that was... Because the boys in Iraq, they talk to the people every day. They sleep in tents, como casas. My boys live in a tent in the dirt. Y ellos, como les mandábamos comida a Eliseo y a Sam y a él, they treated themselves. Habían un bote de frijoles y los refrían, los batían y se los comían. So, but when Trump said that, I said,
Yeah. But Vice President Spiro Agnew gave you the Medal of Honor.
yes.
Yeah. Questions?
Couple.
Go ahead.
Well, the first one, what would you tell mothers and parents? What would you tell them?
Parents,
What would you tell
Tell them.
mothers?
you don't listen.
The children don't listen?
No, la mamá se siempre dijo con ellas.
Oh,
La única que se contaba mucho conmigo, because we had meetings to go, and then she would come and says, ¿nos llevas? Sí, mamá, I'll go pick you up and we'll go. Y mamá, yo y mi hermana, porque ella arriaba. Y, íbamos y luego salíamos de allí y ella nos compraba hamburger. You don't have to go, yes, dice. Pero el esposo era bien, I didn't even know when she died. Y la esposa estaba casada con Víctor, ya quedó. Todavía dice una de las hermanas de Víctor que trae toda la ropa de Víctor en un vestido cambiando. Dice, porque se casó otra vez y el hombre no le gustó. Dijo, no, ese es mi esposo, mi primer novio. So she shared the money with her in-laws. But I shared mine with my family.
so Victor Espinosa was married when he went off to Vietnam.
Recién casado.
¿Y tenía niños? No. ¿Y la esposa vive?
Sí, pero vive papá, algo somewhere para.
Okay.
But they keep in touch with the girls,
Yeah.
las sisters-in-law acá.
You know, once Pam and I did a video where I read Freddie's letter where he talks about Victor, and it was on the internet, and Victor's cousin called the museum. He was very emotional. He said, I did not know that story. I did not know that Freddie had written about Victor. Did you have something else? Or you were going to
yeah.
ask it differently?
Yeah, no, another question.
Go ahead.
What do you think about the way we treat veterans and those who have passed?
It's awful. Este VA que está aquí no sirve para nada. A mí me corrieron. And now they want me to fix esa carta. Se la voy a llevar a Ramón because I have to go make my will. Y le voy a decir que me explique, dije, because remember, when I was working with you all, you called me and told me you all wanted to talk to me. So I cried all the way to he's run down the street from me. Y,
¿A Ramón García?
ajá,
Yeah.
a couple of blocks.
Yeah.
Y fui a verlo y le dije, look, I don't want to fight this thing anymore. I'm tired. Me corrieron. So dije, I don't want to, just leave me alone.
So, Dolia, I think we're finished with the interview. Unless, Tony, you had something. Yes, go ahead.
Dolia, yo más le quería preguntar, antes que se fuera Freddie a los Marines, ¿qué le gustaba hacer? ¿Cómo era él aquí en la casa? What was his-
Que no era
his
así, no, era bien bueno mi hijo. He was a nice kid. That's all I can say. Y como dicen, no mother raises a son like that.
Dolia, thank you very much for your time.
Well, I hope it comes out good.
Yeah, no, this is going to be such an important interview that we're going to put in our museum. So, thank you. No
What
la-
about-
no
what ab-
apagues la cámara, no la apagues.
What about the Dia de los Muertos? You gonna have a celebration?
Well, we did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, we did. I don't know that we did. What is, somebody was building something for Freddie, no, or built an altar for Freddie last year?
Yeah, one of the boys.
Yeah. So because of the virus, Dolia, you know,
that's okay.
we had to do everything only through the internet and the computer. But this is this, you know, and the letters, Dolia, I'm telling you, those letters, it's like a treasure. Yeah.
You can keep them.
Thank you.
Porque
Thank you.
el
Yes.
día que yo me salga de la casa van a hacer un...
Sí, no, y también si acaso tiene más. Si
Sí.
tiene más cartas. Yo quiero ver a ver qué más tiene. Those newsletters, we're going to leave them here so you can just give them away as gifts to, you know, friends who come by. Okay? Okay. Muy bien. Thank you, Dolia. Okay, so